I just told you, you spend 3 times more time with your boss than you spend with your kids. So you're investing in him and his businesses and his community. You're not investing in your offspring. You're not even investing in your children. Forget your land, your buildings, your businesses. I'm talking about your dang kids, right? Which is the biggest investment that you'll ever make. So then that might explain to us why our children grow up unprepared and unequipped to kind of develop the kind of community that we wanted. So imagine this is a good argument in terms of why your ultimate goal, one of the biggest objectives every black person in America should be to get off the corporate plantation. The reason that that's so important is because you can shift that investment. You can spend, instead of spending 3 times more time with your boss than with your kids, you can spend 3 times more time with your kids than you spend with your boss. Or maybe you could take your boss out of the budget completely because literally I just showed you mathematically that if I was to add up all the thousands of hours you spend with your boss over the course of a lifetime, that takes 19 years off of your life. Right. So that means if I live to be 72 years old, then then the time I spent with my boss means I could have just died at like 51 or something, or 52 or 53, and it would have been pretty much the same thing because I spent damn near the last 20 years serving white America, serving corporations, serving somebody else's business, right? So just break it down like that, in my opinion. I think if you do that, you're going to be a little bit shocked by what you see, but then you're going to have the insight and the consciousness to be able to make the pivot that you need to make in order to make the kinds of investment that you want to pursue. That was just a random thought I had with myself, and I thought I'd share it, hoping that it would help somebody out there. All right, so let's read this. This is this is page 188 of Dr. Claude Anderson's book called "Dirty Little Secrets." Stephanie says she's pissed. I'm pissed for you, Stephanie. I get it. I get it, girl. All right, so it says the brilliant mind of Negro Tom. It says Thomas Fuller, more popularly known as Negro Tom, born in Africa, brought to America as a slave at the age of 14, became a self-taught mathematician. Denied a formal education, he could neither read nor write, but he could calculate complex mathematical problems in his head within a matter of minutes. He was especially adept at figuring times, distance, and space. Wow. Zora Colburn, a noted mathematician in the 19th century, once challenged Fuller to calculate in his head the number of seconds a man had lived when he was 70 years old, 12 days, and 12 hours old. Within a matter of minutes, the African calculator had his answer. Colburn, figuring on paper, obtained a different answer, but Fuller reminded the mathematician that he had neglected to count leap years. Ooh. On figuring once more, Colburn was forced to admit that he was wrong and Fuller was right. Wow. Regardless of how remarkable Fuller's ability was, he never received his freedom from slavery, so his mathematical brilliance was wasted. He could not use it to help himself, his family, or his race. Sadly, like most blacks, he spent life in cotton and tobacco fields rather than classrooms. An educational organization, the Columbia Centennial, called him a prodigy, a mathematical genius who, without a doubt, would have been equal to Sir Isaac Newton had he had an appropriate formal education. So when I read about this man, his name was let's see, Thomas Fuller. They called him Negro Tom, and or the African calculator. When I read this, what I think about here's what goes through my mind. I think about how many millions of our children have extraordinary ability to do anything they want, but they use that genius to do something stupid, right? Like they learned how to twerk at the age of 3, right? Twerking at 3 takes lots of intelligence.